All right, here we go, man. Hanging with Beatdrop podcast, episode 72.
72, baby.
Kevin in the building was good. He loves LeBron. Got my boy Roger Roach in the building. And we got the homie, JQ. Was good.
My man. Appreciate y'all having me out here today.
We
Jay,
chilling.
Jay.
You
What's up
know
with
what
you,
I'm saying?
Welcome, Jay. Welcome.
How we feeling? We feeling good?
Feeling good, man.
Hopefully we the open starburst is cool. You know what I'm saying?
I like the vibe, bro. It's like we chilling at that crib right now.
Yeah, we chilling. So honestly, dog, I was happy to have you jump on the show because like I feel people fuck with you heavy. They say you have good energy, and right off the rip, I'm just gonna shout out Mars because he commented on the post. And he was like, yo, I don't have a question, but I want to give a huge shout out to my brother Jay for always being authentic and for giving out solid energy. Stay blessed, champion. Like, that's dope.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
man,
saying?
that's
Because
dope
Mars
for
is
real.
like, I trust Mars, you know? And, like, for him to say shit like that, like, that's when I knew. You know what I'm saying?
You was the one.
Yeah, you was the one to come through. You know what I'm saying?
But the shirt says it all. No bad energy, baby. No bad energy.
See, I didn't even notice that.
The
shit,
vibe,
you know
man.
What I'm saying? So let's start from the jump, man. On the podcast, we just kind of like to just where you from, what city you from, like what do you do, and if we could just get into detail and we just glide from there, bro.
Okay. Yeah. I'm from LA. I'm from the Boyle Heights area, actually.
Okay.
One of like 5 black families from the whole neighborhood,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
So it was dope growing up. Man, I've been around Latinos my whole life.
That's
like,
tight.
I feel like it's the LA culture, man. You get both sides of it, so it's dope for me. But yeah, I'm born and raised in LA.
Yeah.
Man, I moved around the city a lot, so I've lived in all parts of it, man. South Central side, the Valley. So I've gotten the whole experience of being from here, man. And I feel like it's a great place. Like it's part of me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's tight. And then, so I know you do a lot of things, bro. You know what I'm saying? So kind of walk us through like what exactly you do. Cause one day I see you post, you're like balling up. One day, you know what I'm saying? You doing your podcast. So I feel like you wear a lot of hats. You know what I'm
No
saying?
doubt,
so,
yeah.
So like, what was this stuff that you kind of envisioned when you were a young kid, or just kind of being in the entertainment field, or did you always want to play basketball, or just kind of like how did all that come about?
As a kid, man, I was an athlete heavy.
Yeah.
Like that was it. Nothing else really mattered to me. Like I would get people come to me and say, "Hey, you should try this or this or that." It was like I was so focused on playing ball.
Yeah.
Man, all the way through up to I was probably like 24, 25. Man, I played through college and everything, so it was just like that was my focus the whole way through. And then my last year of college, I got hurt. I had a car accident actually, so I was like weeks before my last season. I got rear-ended on the freeway. My back was like shot basically. Yeah. So from there I wasn't playing. I didn't play for like a year. And at that time, that's when it was just like, man, let's figure something out. Like I had a lot of time to myself, so I felt like now's the time to kind of figure out where I want to go with this. If this doesn't work out for me, like what's gonna be next?
Damn.
And so I got to be around music my whole life. Like, man, growing up, my barber was Will.i.am's brother.
Oh,
like
shit.
I just like always been around music. My dad knows a lot of people in music, so it was just like something that was natural to me.
Yeah.
People would always tell me like, "Oh, you have a voice for radio. Like you should." And I would like hear it, put it in the back, like, "Man, I'm a ball player. That's all I wanted to do."
Yeah.
But like over time, it kind of like started coming back to me, like, "Yo, you should really look into this." So, that was like the next step. I took a class and I like loved it off the rip. Damn. So I started like looking into getting work with stations, and K-Day was the first place that hired me. Probably like a year later from that time, and man, just been doing it ever since. Now I have my own podcast, like you were saying. I still play ball now. I'm back into it. It's not the same, but like I still get enjoyment from it. Like I get to play in a lot of different games and meet people from it. So it still works out for me in that sense, but like it's not the focus anymore like it was. Yeah.
And then, backtracking to when you were playing ball, like what was that process like when, obviously you had the accident.
Right.
Or it was like, did you feel you were gonna come back the same? Or like what point was it where you were like, dude, like I don't feel like the same?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I kept going like for like a month, like the next month. So it happened early October. I kept playing, I kept trying to push through it, and then probably at the end of the month, I had a tournament, and like that day I just felt like this pain is too much. Like I gotta go get this checked out. I gotta go get this looked at. And yeah, from there, man, I had like 2 bulging discs in my back. I had like, it was bad.
What is that? Say that again. What is it?
I had bulging discs. So like on each side of your back, there's 4 discs. So like 2 of them they got so inflamed and so swollen that like it was it was causing pain because they were bigger than the slot that they're supposed to fit into.
Oh shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I probably got like 6.
You got 6
You're like, damn, you just explained a lot for me, man.
I got a toe pack in my back. You know?
We out here working.
Damn, bro. And then it's like, fuck. So it just got to a point where you were just like, you had to come just to a relaxation.
I had to take a break, and then the rehab process was just long. Like,
damn.
after that day that I played that tournament, I started feeling like pain more severely. Like, even sitting up straight for like 20 minutes straight, bro, the pain was so bad. I couldn't do it. I couldn't drive anymore. I was home for 8 months straight.
Hey, you know how you said you have all that pain and everything?
Yeah.
When you went to the doctor, you think that before you even knew you had that, you didn't feel as much pain, but now when you found out what you have and what it's done to you, and you could actually see it, because I don't know if they did X-rays, but
yeah, they did.
You see it and you're like, fuck, now it's in your mind.
You
now.
think about it more.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, you're like, fuck, now I really know what I have, and every move you make is like, fuck.
It was already bad, but yeah, I think actually hearing it and like getting the diagnosis, like, it made it a little worse, because now it's in your brain, it's in the back of your mind, like, damn, I'm really have to go through this now, like. Yeah.
And you feel probably like you would have to play like cautiously too, huh?
Yeah, when I first came back, like I took time to like start trying to do certain things. I was just like chilling on the court, and then
Damn, bro, that's tough. You know, especially if it's like an accident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was like a freak encounter, one time thing, but yeah.
Damn, man. And then so pretty much, I mean, shit, I know that must have been a tough process. You know what I'm
saying?
Yeah,
for a while, man, it was just like, man, I was in my own head every day, like, why this happened to me, like approaching it from the wrong perspective. But like over time, sitting, like, I got so much time to sit with my thoughts, like it just showed me like, okay, maybe this wasn't for you. Maybe you should readjust and figure out which way you should be going with this. And then over time, man, like I feel like it was a blessing in disguise, because it taught me how to deal with like adversity.
Yeah.
So now it's like, what can I deal with that's going to be worse than that, like that I already went through. So that's why I approach life now. Like, I'm always happy all the time. You don't ever see me like with, like Mars was saying, like great energy and all that, because I've already been through what I feel like is probably going to be one of the worst experiences for me. Yeah. So now I'm just like, let's enjoy life. Like, I'm still here. Yeah.
Damn. And what do you think you told yourself like throughout that time? Did you just feel like you were just like, I know in the beginning, I know it must have been super tough. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like, what was that shift that you came to a point where you just like, you know what, like, let's get a different thought process? Was it just you just, you know, praying, just trying to figure out ways and trying to get out of it and stuff like that?
Yeah, pretty much. That was it, man. Just praying on it, just like trying to figure. I was questioning it so much that I was like, maybe I should just try to see what it's trying to teach me, and take it that way. And then praying on it, just sitting with it, dealing with it. After a while, it kind of just came to me like, okay, maybe this was for you to understand what you're gonna have to deal with, and to prepare you for whatever may be next for you.
Damn, that's really good to go about it like that and shit.
And then, like, were you trying to do other things besides music at first, or was like music the first thing that kind of caught your attention when it came to like radio personality and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think that was the first thing that really caught me, just because it was my next love to sports. Like, it was music, it was sports music. So I feel like finding a way to be in that business was like, okay, let's do that next. Yeah. And I looked at like working at labels, maybe something of that nature, but radio was the first thing that came to me, and like it's been I think where I'm supposed to be now.
No, hell yeah. And then were you doing like, were you MCing for it? That you want to like DJ? Like, what was the first step like that you took for you to kind of take to go from there?
So I started out MCing. The first time I like knew like, oh shit, you should probably be doing this. Yeah. I was at a concert. This was like 2016. So Ja Rule and Ashanti went on tour together.
Oh, okay.
So I went to one of the shows, and I ended up getting put on stage during Ashanti's set.
Oh, for real?
So she does like this thing with her dancers where they pull up like 3 people and they do like a dance on it, like for a couple songs, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, she comes up and she'll like give you the mic, like say where you're from and your name, blah, blah, blah. And I did it, and I got a crowd reaction, and I was just like, yo, that shit feels dope.
You got the mic, you like, well, now JJ, y'all say cute.
Yeah,
start feeling yourself.
just getting that reaction back from like me talking, I was like, yo, that's dope. Like, and from there, like, that's when it clicked for me. Started like pursuing it that way, bro. Just
That's dope.
Random ass experiences for me.
Yeah, that's fucking tight though. I thought you were gonna say she made you and then you'd have to like start dancing and shit. Like man.
Hey, I wouldn't be against that either, man.
Damn. And then did you DJ or anything like that? Like in the beginning or just straight to MCing?
I went straight to MCing. I mean, I've dabbled in DJing, like, and I feel like I know music really well, but like, I don't like for me personally, I respect people's crafts, like, so I know how much time a lot of DJs put into it. I didn't feel like I was ready to put that much time into it, so I didn't even want to just come in and say like, oh, I'm a DJ now, like. So I felt like MCing, that was something I could do naturally without having to like step on anybody else's toes, and I could just come in and do me. In that sense. So
no, that's awesome, bro. That's tight the way you see it, you know. And then so walk us through kind of like how did K-Day come about? Like, was it just you just apply? Like, how did that whole process kind of go? Yeah.
So like I was telling you when I took a class for it, my professor was PJ Butter, K-Day's afternoon personality. Yeah. And we just kind of clicked off the rip, like, and then so I took one class with him. It was like 4 months, and then I had signed up for another one, but I didn't end up finishing it. But like when the second one just started, he was telling me like, "Yo, K-Day just got a new promotions person. Like, they're gonna be hiring new people. You should look into it." And I did. Basically, a few months later, bam, I was there.
Damn.
And right when I got there, man, that's when we moved over to Powers Building, and like. It was like fate, like the same time, perfect time, and everything came together.
Damn, that's the plug right there.
Damn, man. That's fucking sick. And then, when did you meet SMS? Is that the time you met like when you got in K-Day?
My first day, worked with him my first day at K-Day. We got cool real quick. Like me, him, and the girl that works with us, V too. Yeah, I worked with them too my very first day.
Oh shit.
And like it didn't take long, man. Like a couple months in, we were tight already. Like so since then we just been rocking together. Yeah.
And is that how you guys created your own show, the Same Squad Radio?
Yeah. Damn, so DJ Ecto, shout out to Ecto, man. He plugged that. He was with you guys recently, right?
Yeah. He was vibing with us. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was the program director at the station we work on at Dash, and I guess him and SMS had connected first, and so he gave him the idea, or he gave him the okay to like, okay, you could get your own show on here. SMS reached out to me like the same day. Damn. And man, been doing it ever since.
That's tight.
That's just dope.
That's dope, man. And how do you so what is the show pretty much about? Like kind of like what like I know it's called Same Squad Radio.
Yeah.
So like are you guys introducing new music or just what are you guys doing on the show?
Yeah, so it's like current hip hop music. And we like to have a lot of new artists up and just like talk about their come up. Like most of them are independent artists, so it's like you put your team together, you're pushing your own stuff. That's why we call it like Same Squad. It's like it's the people you came in with, and you're telling your stories about how that works. And then we're playing a lot of new music. We get a lot of submissions and stuff like that.
Damn,
so it's dope, man.
No, that's dope, man. I fuck with it, man. I was watching your Instagram, and I know you obviously you don't play basketball like how you wanted to play, but I know you started something. I believe it was called the LA Stars. What exactly is that?
So someone I met playing with the Power 106 All Stars basketball team. He reached out to me like, yo, I got a team we're about to put in this league. It's like it's Jordan sponsored league. It's a super dope facility. Like it's a good look. You want to play with us? Yeah. So I signed up, man. It was a great experience, you know. Like from there, and we got so many opportunities like in basketball through that. Just from we met each other through Power, and then put the team together, and we ran that league. Like we went undefeated the whole season.
Oh my boy, baller,
bro, never played together. Like we would show up on every weekend, play together. And we ran through the whole league.
Damn.
Now we're getting like booked to go play in different leagues, as games and stuff, or like go to play celebrity games and shit like that. Man, I never thought about even being the thing, but it's been working out that way.
Damn, you know that's dope.
That's a dope ass experience.
Yeah, man. Like, and that's actually cool, man. Like, especially how like I'm sure when going back to like when you said you got hurt, like I'm pretty sure that didn't seem like a reality at that time.
At all. I didn't even think about this being an option.
You know what I'm saying? Like, isn't that pretty crazy? Like how that shit could kind of take a full circle. You know what I'm saying? Like that's fucking dope. How sometimes there's other avenues that could take you to that too.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's fucking dope.
That door closed, so another one open towards that.
And it's been working out for me in a way like I never even saw it.
No, that's tight, man. And how do you feel overall, man? Like as far as like emceeing, like you feel like you've been going at a good pace the way you want it. Like you feel pretty good so far.
Yeah, I feel like I've accomplished a lot, man, in this realm. Like I've gotten to do so many dope events, like that I've been put on, like personally requested to go do stuff, and it's just like damn.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like on a great path with it.
Yeah.
And ready to just keep growing, see where it takes me.
Yeah, man, that's dope. And usually we've had people that started in street team and they kind of tell us the journey that they've been through, and my cousin Kev, one day we were at the gym, doing our thing, and then he was like, pumping. Yo, just pumping, and he was like, yo, it would be cool if you guys get somebody that is currently on the street team. You know what I'm saying? So I thought about that, and I was like, yo, like that's pretty cool. I never really thought about it like that. So it's like, how do you feel pretty much about, being a street team, and what are some of the goals you want to face, maybe in the next year, a few years from now? Like, what are some things you want to hit? You know?
It's been a great experience for me.
Yeah.
I like that it's not the same thing every day. You get you get to meet new people. You're in a different environment. It's challenging for you, but like in a good way, because you get to work with DJs. You get to like learn their, like for me, I want to be a radio personality one day. So it's preparing me for that, because I feel like I work with different DJs throughout my time slot. Like same thing that I'm gonna have to do there. So I get to work with different people every day. I get to meet new people, make connections, and then it's just like you get so many opportunities to hone your craft and get better at it, because you're working all the time doing it. So I like it, man. But yeah, I would say like within the next year, I want to get on air somewhere, like at an actual station. And that's my goal right now. I've just been recording a lot, just putting together air checks and getting ready to take that next step.
No, that's dope. And I fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool, man. And honestly, dog, I really fuck with your energy, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I know even before off camera, we were just chopping it up. We were just talking about basketball and just some cool shit. I know we were having some great conversations.
Some bad ones, but some good ones.
Bro.
Yo, your cousin's wild over there, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? My cousin wild. But I actually want to talk about that, like, just about just basketball, just a cool little fun talk. Like, you say you like the Rockets, right? Yeah. Like, where do you see your team, man? Like, you optimistic? You feel good? Like,
yeah, I think we're being a little bit overlooked right now. Like, with all the changes in the West, everybody's kind of looking at, like, the Lakers, the Clippers, Portland. Like, there's other teams that are kind of being pushed to the front, and I like flying under the radar. I feel like it lets us kind of not have the expectation that we've had the last few years. We could just come in and do our thing, and then adding Russell Westbrook, like, that should be a dope addition for the team. So I like it. I think we're in a good place.
And then, bro, what do you feel about for people? Like,
I don't want to say names.
I don't want to say names.
Over there.
You know what I'm saying? But what do you feel about people that they're not happy that LeBron's that LeBron is here in LA? Like
fucking A, man.
Yeah, like what do you think it is? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to look at him,
I'm gonna look straight ahead.
You know what I mean? Like what do you think it is? Like, you think it's just like, is it because of like Kobe and shit? Like,
I think a lot of people grew up during Kobe's era. They can't make themselves be LeBron fans now because they were rivals for so long. Yeah. They feel like they're cheating on Kobe to be a LeBron fan or to support LeBron. And it doesn't have to be that. Like, he plays for your team now too. Yeah. But he gets a lot of unfair criticism, like because of the way he came in with all that hype and stuff. Yeah. But I feel like for him, man, like, He's been in front of a camera since he was like 15 years old.
Yo, isn't that shit crazy? I was thinking about that shit too. Like, I saw on Instagram, like, there was clips of him being like in high school being interviewed and shit.
Yeah,
like, that's fucking
ESPN
crazy.
Was going to his high school games.
Hey, you know what's funny? It's funny we're talking about LeBron. So we got this guy named Ted Ginn Jr.
Oh, the receiver.
Yeah, the receiver. And I guess they went to the same high school and everything. And LeBron let him borrow his car so he could go to prom twice.
Damn.
That's crazy, huh? He spoke about it in ESPN, and I was watching. I was like, damn.
And Ted Ginn was big back when he went to Ohio State.
Yeah,
too, so
he was a speedy ass receiver, and then he's all like, yeah, low key LeBron came through and he let me borrow his car, to go to prom. And then they were just asking all these questions. But LeBron, low key, he's been around like a lot of like famous celebrities and sports people that they could be like, yeah, this has been around.
And it's cool too to see also the things that he's done outside of basketball.
For sure.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
That
like
school he built, right?
Yeah, bro.
That's crazy. Space Jam 2.
Yeah, bro. Space Jam 2.
And he's in it. I heard. Wink, wink.
I mean, he has the show, The Shop. I think it's called The Shop. Like, he has a lot of dope shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think when I see stuff like that, it's just cool to know that, there's more than basketball. And it just goes back to you, man. Where it's just like, as much as you want to be something, like, sometimes it might take like other little avenues. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I have a question. For example, like if there's somebody that is in the same shoes as you or wants to do something that you wanted to do that's playing basketball and is probably just focused on basketball, would you probably tell them to maybe look at other things too, just for a plan B or anything like that? Or what would be something you would say?
It's tough because honestly, to make it to that level, like you have to be a little bit insane. Like you have to believe in yourself in a different way than like the average person. Like the people that make it that high in basketball, like Kobe Bryant, LeBron James and stuff, like they've been thinking they were the greatest thing since they were kids. And you can't tell them any otherwise. So like to get that far, you kind of have to have that mindset, but at the same time, don't limit yourself. Like it's okay to have other interests and focus on those too. You're not taking away from your greatness as a player. So I would say just make sure you're not limiting yourself. Like be willing to branch out and look other ways too.
Yeah, man, because, you know, it's tough, bro, because, like, I feel like, you know, even just, like, as a parent aspect, like if your kid tells you, like, yo, I want to be, you know, like, I would have said Kobe Bryant, but I want to be LeBron James, like, it's one of those, like, what can you kind of tell him, like, you know what I'm saying? Do you tell him, like, yeah, like, you got it, and then you see that he don't really got a jump shot like that, really you know, like, I don't see you driving the paint like that, you know, like, it's one of those where it's just, like, I'm pretty sure that's kind of tough, because it's one of those where, like, a kid's growing up wanting to be something, and you know, you don't really got it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, you just gotta keep going with it.
I mean, if they love it, man, just let them do what they do. Support it because it's gonna keep them out of trouble. It's something that they're gonna put time and focus into.
That's true.
So it's not hurting you in any way. Just to support them, and then if it doesn't work out, hey, they're gonna think back to like, yo, my dad, you really used to come to my games and really like be there for me. So it's like either way, it's a win-win for you.
I like that. See, you make me feel good, you know, because last time Jacob threw a football, and I wasn't really convinced. I was like, Jacob, that does not looking that good.
We're gonna put you on defense.
Yeah, we're gonna try a different spot.
We're gonna have to get a different position. You know? Nah, I'm fucking with you.
You're crazy.
Imagine just be fucked up like that. Nah, I'm fucking with you. No, man, but it feels good to know, man, that you have good energy like that despite the shit that you've been through. You know what I'm saying? Because that could really put people down like that. You know
sure.
What I'm
I
saying?
know some people that just never bounce back from it. Like, there's this guy I used to play against in high school. He went to high school with James Harden.
Oh shit.
And at the time, he was the best player on their team. But when he went to college, he got caught up in like a taking money scandal. Yeah. So he got suspended for most of his freshman year, and he gained a lot of weight, and he just never recovered. Yeah. I saw this guy when I was doing an event probably like last year. Bro, he's like 400 pounds now, like living in South Central LA. Like at the time, this guy was the best high school player in California, and like he's not even playing ball anymore. It's crazy to see.
Damn. That shit's sad, man. That reminds me of that movie. What's that movie? Is it his name was Boogie? I think. Is it Friday Night Lights?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like that one was tough too. Like those injuries, man.
It's
like
real. Yeah.
That shit is real life. That shit sucks. You know what I'm saying? You just, I don't know, man. That shit just sad. Cause it's like, you know, like you're a kid growing up thinking you gonna play ball, and it could be an injury or I don't know.
Something
man.
could just take you out.
Yeah, dog. That's just tough, man. And then I saw on your Instagram, man, and I seen this that you put, you know, on your bio. It says leader. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what do you think makes you a good leader? You know what I mean?
Just being willing to accept everybody for who they are. I don't like judge people off the first meeting of them. Like I let people dictate who they are to me. I don't like someone else could tell me, hey, don't fuck with Beatdrop. Like he's not a person you should be around.
Who said that? Imagine, wait, who told you that, Jay? Imagine, wait, who's telling you that?
Hold on, let me pull out the list real quick.
He said, it wasn't just the person.
Yeah, you're like, don't go to that podcast. Like, damn.
Your last 3 guests told me not to do it. Yeah, but like I just kind of let my experience with people dictate that. I don't take anyone else's word for who someone is or whatnot. Yeah. And then on top of that, just communicating, man. I always make sure that I make people feel welcome if they come into any environment with me. Yeah. I don't want them to feel like, oh, I was around Jay and like I didn't like the way I felt in that room with him or something like that. I always want people to talk positively about me. Yeah. And that's one of the leadership qualities I feel like I have. Even playing sports my whole life, like I was always a captain on most of my teams. Just because like, I could communicate with everybody. Yeah. People will have beef on the side, and like when we got on the court, like we don't want to hear about any of that. Like let's just do what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So I always felt like I could kind of be the mediator between stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's one of my strongest qualities.
Damn, that's dope, bro. Where do you think you got those qualities from? Would you just say the way you were raised, like your fam?
Yeah,
like?
I would say the way I was raised. I was raised around a lot of women. Like I have 2 sisters, my mom, and then I have my cousin and aunt live right next to us too. So it was like 5 women and me all the time.
Yeah.
So you can't be disrespectful in any time. Like they don't play that, you know. So, quick.
Yeah, quick.
Yeah. So I just feel like being that, it made me very respectful to other people and just welcoming of anybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, the way I was raised, I would definitely put it on that, man. Even my family's from the South, so my grandma and aunts and uncles and stuff, I didn't see them all the time, but when I would go visit them during summers and stuff like that, same thing. They raised me with that same type of mentality. So I would definitely give a lot of credit to my family on that front.
That's awesome, man. Shout out to your fan, because I feel like you having great qualities like that could even land you just different opportunities.
Yeah,
just
opens new doors.
Yeah, just being an awesome dude. You know what I'm saying? And that's dope, man. And honestly, bro, I'm really glad that you stopped by, because it's like it's one of those where I want people to know that. I mean, I didn't even know. It's crazy. I didn't even know that you went through that shit with basketball.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
But it's cool because it just lets you know that, you know, sometimes something very, very terrible has to happen for something awesome could happen.
Hell
you know what I'm saying? And it sucks. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad, because it's like you still playing ball. Maybe not next to James Harden. You know what I'm saying? But you still playing ball, and that shit's cool because you're still having a good time, and as long as you're happy, you know what I'm saying? And that's awesome, man. For real, that's dope. And I know Roger got some questions he wants to ask you.
No doubt.
He has some exclusive questions, you know.
Exclusive questions.
He prepared some of that good stuff. You know what I mean?
All right, this is a little game we call Would You Rather with Roy. So first question: would you rather restart your life or continue with your life that you have right now?
Continue.
Yeah. Okay.
That's actually a good question.
Yeah.
He made me think. I was like, damn. You know?
What could I change?
Yeah, I was like, man.
All right, next question: would you rather have the same phone forever or have the same haircut forever?
Ooh.
That iPhone 11 just came out.
You know what I'm saying? I might have to switch that up.
Like, fuck.
I'll do the haircut, man. Yeah.
I knew an iPhone looked good. All right, next question. Would you rather find your soulmate or find $3 million? Shit.
Damn, actually, man, if she's listening right now.
And if you're out there right now.
You've been voted out the island.
You said 3 million?
3 million.
3 mil.
Damn. Kevin said, pay me.
He said, pay me.
Hey, aren't you married, bro?
Yeah, what's up, bro? Oh, shit.
Crazy, man.
I'll fuck with Jay.
Oh, shit.
I might have to go with the soulmate.
The soulmate? Okay.
Yeah.
$3 million.
I feel like I can make that.
Yeah, hey, that's
Okay.
me. I like that.
Next question. Would you rather have Walter White as your chemistry teacher or have Justin Bieber as your music teacher?
Walter White.
Walter White. Hell yeah. He be teaching me.
See, I'll get the $3 million off of that.
Yeah, quick.
All right. Would you rather have a criminal justice system that actually works and it's fair, or have a government that is free and free of corrupt?
Man,
That's a good one.
my boy Roger came with the thing.
Yeah, that's a eater right there.
Like,
You say you want to be a leader. Well, show me what you got.
lead us the way.
Lead us the way.
I might say the criminal justice system. That's fair.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather be able to speak all the language or be able to speak to all the animals? So, yeah.
The animals.
The animals, huh?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, sometimes they be barking. I'm like,
Feel me?
the
Like,
fuck are
what you
saying?
trying to
What
say to
you
me,
trying
bro?
to say,
You
bro?
want to square up?
What
What's
you
up?
Damn, but knowing the language, fuck. Yeah.
That's true too.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Would you rather spend every minute of your life inside or spend every minute of your life outside?
Outside.
Outside.
Yeah, you get more experience that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had some good questions, bro.
Nah, those are
Thank
dope,
you.
for real.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not every time I'm always like waiting to see what questions he's gonna ask, and I was like, okay.
Do you switch those up?
Yeah. Yeah, he always be switching them
I
up.
do.
That's
I'll be
dope.
asking people different questions.
Yeah.
I like it though. Good answers.
He's like, I like it. Top 3 answers.
Yeah.
I already got the 3 milli though. No,
Yeah, that shit was funny. I looked to my right and I just see Kev like, get the money. I'm like, my boy has some things to talk about at the crib.
I don't even think they're gonna let him inside.
He's not
today.
going home tonight.
Yeah, it's a wrap, dog. Damn, man. No, hey, honestly, Jay, I fuck with you, dog. Like, I'm not just saying that, man. Cause look, and Mars, man, he's always been like, yo, Jay's a good dude. You know what I'm saying? And I trust Mars. And then when I saw that he posted, I was like, oh, I'm glad. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just happy that you're in a good space. You know what I'm saying? Despite the shit that, you know, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more shit that you've gone through.
For
you
sure,
know,
yeah.
We all learn from that. You know what I'm saying? But that is a perfect example, bro, because it's one of those where I feel like maybe a lot of us, when we're kids, we think we're going to be that athlete, and then reality hits. You know what I'm saying?
Don't always work out that way.
Yeah, and, you know, for you, it was an injury. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just glad that you were able to find something that you enjoy and are still having fun. You know what I'm saying? But, dog, I fuck with you. I'm glad you stopped by.
Appreciate you, man, for real.
I hope you win your fantasy league.
For real, same here.
Yeah.
But did you know I was gonna be a singer? But I messed up my leg though. I never was the same after that.
Well, you messed up your leg.
You always
I messed up my leg, and then after that, it was
mess with the vocals too, right?
no. The vocals are fine. Just my leg. I messed up my leg.
Hey, I want to just ask you: would you rather be a professional basketball player or a professional singer?
A stripper all day.
No, I imagine.
Shit.
Oh man. Oh shit.
What you mean?
I was like, nah, singer, bro.
Oh,
yeah, athlete. What's up? We got advanced this week or what?
trying to bring out the baby oil?
Yeah. Come on, dog. We were ending it.
My bad.
And we were ending it at a nice uplifting note.
I had a super uplifted. I had to go down, but I had to bring it back up with it.
Oh shit,
Man.
look at this motherfucker, dog. Nah, man. Hey, honestly, Jay, man, thank you for stopping by, man. And shout out to Kev for fucking getting us hyped before.
He set the mood for real.
Yeah, he set. He set the mood. But thank you, dog. Appreciate you. We're on our way to bubblegum now.
Yes, sir. This was fun, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you,
bro.
dog. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man.
No doubt.
you, baby.
Appreciate you, man.